when I listened to Rock Me, I was like, what are these boys implying?
Don't mention Zuko. Don't mention Zuko.
We gotta put a cap on it.
Don't.
The way that we're crying, and it was not One Direction related, but One Direction stemmed it. You can describe that for my whole relationship with One Direction.
Amber, I mean, I don't have to tell you. I'm crazy.
I'm
not normal.
I can't shift there. I don't give a fuck. Are we getting into this?
Yes.
Into the thick of it? Into the thick of it?
Fangirl Central.
Oh, and the day has begun.
Amber, pose.
Okay. So today has been crazy.
Today's been taxing. And it literally, y'all, it is Juneteenth currently.
It's Juneteenth, 2024. This time in 2013, 4 p.m. in Nashville, Tennessee, we were either eating chicken tenders and had just met 5 Seconds of Summer, or we were at the hotel getting ready for the show. No, it was 5 p.m.
What was 5 p.m.?
Was when we got back to the hotel, I think.
So yeah, we were eating chicken tenders. We were eating chicken tenders and like in shock that we had just met 5 Seconds of Summer.
And if you want to know that story, pan up.
We have a short film called The Day I Didn't Meet One Direction, and it does take place on Juneteenth, 2013, and it does take place on the day that we saw One Direction live for the first time on the Take Me Home tour.
Yes, it does.
And can I just say
it,
because from the title you can tell that this is somewhat of a very, very insane and intense episode.
Oh my
so
God.
I just want to warm us up. Like let's like just gently, lightly get into it, because I want to say to you, my sister, 2013 is in the air. Sorry, I'm Amanda.
And I'm Amber, and this
is Fangirl Central, where being a fangirl is central to our identity. 2013 is in the air.
2013 is in the air. There's some type of whoo.
And can I
something astrological, something someone can explain to us.
Because just to rattle off a few things, like we just started watching Teen Wolf again.
Oh my God.
Which teaser, we're going to be talking about 2013, our first time going to Comic-Con, and Teen Wolf is very, very heavily involved in that.
Yes, because we came in season 3A.
Yeah, it was in the middle of season 3A.
Which is the best season.
And I'm like, do we think it's the best season because that's when we hopped in?
Probably, but also,
God, like Daniel Sharman, Dylan O'Brien's hair.
But also,
ladies,
I'm sorry. No, it's not because that's where we hopped in. It's because it is the best season, and often season 3 of a lot of shows are. And this was the alpha pack season, okay? Do you understand? So this is the alpha pack season where they are. There is something about. It's like, I don't even know what to call it. It's like the United effect. Like, I don't like that title at all. But it's like the thing that makes Avengers so big. It's like they're all coming in from different directions, and it's like the biggest people, like all the biggest people are coming at you, and all of the alphas are coming into town. And yeah, we didn't know who they are. But the thing is we were teens watching this, and Jeff Davis was hiring the most like model-esque with a unique type of flair where it's not like traditional hot guy, but really it is. But like there's something unique about every single face in there.
Can I say what I think it is? I think it's a gay man's. I think it's a gay man's perspective.
And like, so yes,
because although everybody on the show was straight, like literally except for Danny, and then finally Jackson at the end, every single person on that show, I'm talking everybody of all genders, was like through a gay like
Lydia
aesthetic.
Is a doll.
Like Lydia is like
she's so cute.
Lydia's like high femme, like she's the popular girl, but she's not like the Disney Channel popular girl or even like the Mean Girls popular girl. She's like, I have red hair, I'm a bitch, but I also have a heart of gold, and I will literally kill you if you destroy my friends.
And confidence.
And
she's smart.
And so that's why I think I'm attracted to the girls and the boys on that show so much in a way that I wasn't on like other like teen like CW type shows. Like they just didn't ever get me the way that Teen Wolf did, because it's like many of them are queer. Like Tyler, girl.
What?
I almost said Tyler Perry.
It's been a long day.
Tyler Posey is literally queer. Like
Yes.
Like Colton Haynes is literally queer.
Yes.
And even though Scott wasn't queer on the show, he's the main character. And he's so
cute.
sweet.
He's so sweet.
He's so sweet.
He's got a pure heart.
We can't get into Teen Wolf.
I know. And okay, and I was about to say we are actually we're breaking an oath. I made an oath to my best friend Capri that I would not talk about Teen Wolf on this podcast without her. Her episode is coming and it's Teen Wolf. But because we are going to break into Comic-Con area, we are going to be discussing a little bit of the things that
we have to we don't have to discuss like actual topics and get into the show, but we do need to talk about what made us get into it.
Okay, we need to talk about the experience of us getting into it because I don't want to go too far into content of their characters and stuff.
No,
because we do need to have that conversation with super fan Capri. This girl is super fan Teen Wolf. And she has amazing meet and greet stories.
And also, I know that this is going to be coming out probably a month from now, but actually this is coming out on July 12th, which, what is it, Tuning 24? It is the 12th? I cannot do math, girl.
What are you about to say?
What is 24 minus 8? 16. It's the 16-year anniversary, the day that this is going to be released, July 12th, 16-year anniversary of when I recorded and posted my first music video to YouTube to Sneaker Night by Vanessa Hudgens. And then I proceeded to post a video every single day, record, edit, and post it on Windows Movie Maker every single day on YouTube for the next week and a half. And then started doing it. But that's how I first started getting into movies and movie making and stuff like that. But I think that it's just so crazy that, because summer is this time, because I feel like this is our summer series. I feel like One Direction and Comic-Con is our little summer series. And I feel like summer is time. Honestly, I'm not even kidding, where my fandom was at its height because I didn't have to mask. I was just at home with Amber.
And not thinking about school,
not thinking about school. And I could use my time to do whatever I wanted. And that was to watch my favorite shows and movies, go on Tumblr, go to concerts. Summer, honestly, concert season for teenagers. Because I remember when I would have concerts in the middle of the school year, they weren't as fun. I wasn't able to get really excited for it during the middle of the day.
Yeah.
But our One Direction concert was over the summer.
Well, I have to disagree with that statement.
What?
About getting excited over concerts in the school year. I think I got more excited over concerts in the school year, if I'm being honest.
I mean, during the day, I would kind of dissociate.
I didn't.
I wasn't able to the morning of our One Direction concert and the full day lead up, I just couldn't have that during the school year. Yes, I was excited inside, but I wasn't I couldn't go track down the people in Memphis during the middle of the school day.
Yeah, I mean, I remember those days where it was they're in town. Do you remember that one time Harry was in Nashville in Chick-fil-A? And a picture of him in Chick-fil-A in Nashville was posted, and it was the middle of the day, and I was about to go down there. This was the time that I could drive, and I was I had a lot of driving anxiety, but I was you know what? I do have a car.
Oh my God.
I'm 16. I have never been on the highway that long.
Okay, I'm not thinking about concerts in the middle of the day. In high school, I'm thinking about in middle school because I was excited for the Best of Both Worlds tour, but I do remember having to focus on my schoolwork.
Oh my gosh, I have to disagree because I don't think schoolwork was not like that. I was struggling at school. I was like, we're gonna go to school and we're gonna get out of school, and tonight is the night. And so I just did it. I would be, I would be on my It's concert day shit at school.
Yeah.
Very heightened. Yeah. Very much this is a holiday. I don't have to use my brain that hard today.
I think it got beat out of me because whenever I did that in lower school, people thought I was so weird. They were chill out. Chill.
Yeah, you had the persona of the calm girl.
Yeah, and I'm just realizing that that's not who I was at school.
I
was shy, but then I did actually come out of my shell, and people would always be like, Amanda, oh my God.
And that's such an annoying reaction.
And
it's
I'm
can you act
you have
normal?
gone to school with me for a decade at this point. you're surprised
Yeah.
at my behavior. Like, I've done this in front of you before. I just am not like this 24/7.
Right.
Like, and
right.
people would think that like I was the calm sister and you were the crazy sister.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, yes, in a lot of ways, that's true. But
Mm-hmm.
Amber, I mean, I don't have to tell you, I'm crazy.
I know.
Like, I'm like not normal.
I know, because some of my friends, like, some of my like closest to friends, they'll be like, oh, Amanda, like, oh my God, Amanda's so cool. Like, she's so, but then there'll be like one special time, like a few months in, or like maybe the third or fourth time you're visiting. I'm talking about like college now. But like the fourth time they're like meeting you and something happens and they see a sliver of you, of you, the real, and they're like, "Oh, Amanda is crazy."
Well, like I remember with the Capri,
I'm telling you,
it's usually fandom stuff because with Capri, it was when we were working Comic Cons with her, and she saw, and well, that was a struggle buzz, but she saw all sides of me.
Oh my God.
Because of that.
And we were all going insane.
We were all going through it. And it was like, what's there to mask when we're going insane at this level?
Yeah.
And then also because when we went to the 5 Seconds of Summer concert that was on your college campus, like I was like, we can't get into it.
No, we cannot get into it.
We can't get into this.
Wait, just we got distracted because you were saying something, and that is my fault. I distracted you. What were you? Oh, the summer essence.
Summer.
And I want to say something about this. But I forgot what it was.
Summer of fandom, because I will even say that there's hints of 2011 and 12, because in 2011 we met Daniel Radcliffe at the stage door, who just won a Tony, Daniel Radcliffe, for being on Broadway and singing, and that was his first time on Broadway singing. Like he had never sang and danced before, and he learned how to sing and dance for how to. And that what is it called? How to succeed in business without really trying.
Yes.
How to.
Oh, I'm gonna get chilled. I'm like the amount of love I had for Daniel Radcliffe at that time in my life, and like I still love him, but like I was so,
because that was the summer that
proud of him. I was like, look at him go, and I'm seeing it live.
That was the summer that the last Harry Potter movie came out also. Like we literally straight up met. Be all right. We met Daniel Radcliffe during the summer that the last Harry Potter came out.
That was the height and peak
on
for me.
Broadway. We met him. Like we went to the Harry Potter exhibit.
Oh my God. Yes, that whole trip was like revolving around Harry Potter.
And that was the summer of Glee. That was the summer
2011.
Of Glee. Because season 2 had just gone off, and season 2 was coming in. And so, like, Jonathan Groff, just also won a Tony. Guess what he's on?
Glee?
Doctor Who.
And Sex
Glee.
in the City?
He was just on Doctor Who
like that.
this past month, and he just won a Tony. And it's the summer of Glee bleeding into right now.
All of our best summers are bleeding into this one. I feel like Phineas and Ferb.
Oh,
ha! Okay,
we are so Phineas and Ferb of fandom, though. We are so Phineas and Ferb of Fangirl.
Who do you want to go see today?
Who do you want to meet today?
Who do you want to meet today?
What money do you want to spend on fandom stuff today?
Let's find something to be
What
crazy
concert
about.
do you want to buy a meet and greet to today?
Oh my God! But I was gonna say yeah, because summer, as soon as school was out, woo! I'm watching Degrassi. I'm watching every single one, and I'm not moving until I'm done.
I'm on Tumblr from the time I wake up, which is 12 to 1 p.m., to the time I go to sleep, which is 3 to 4 a.m. in the summers. I remember those summers. That to-do list that's like watch Glee, rot in my bed, read fanfic. But I wasn't rotting. I was actually the most happiest I've ever been. Is like to open up roll out of bed in the summer heat, and then open my laptop to see where I had left off of Tumblr last night at 4 a.m. and seeing what the girls and gays are saying.
What are the updates?
What did the European Tumblr people say?
What are the funniest
while I was
things
asleep
at this time? Yes, it's like,
who's waking up while I'm going to sleep? Like I'm up at 4 a.m., sometimes 5 a.m. like on Tumblr, and then I would like switch tabs to watch a Doctor Who episode, and then I would switch tabs to go back on Tumblr, and switch tabs to watch a Sherlock episode, and switch tabs to watch Glee, and switch tabs to watch a Harry Potter musical.
Oh my God! I'm remembering being on my Tumblr on summer in the couch, on the brown couch in the playroom, and just looking at every single thing that 5 Seconds of Summer was doing. And this is like 2014 at this point, and like I was so invested. I was like, oh my God, these are my guys. I was like, I'm obsessed. This was the time where it was like One Direction kind of like went through a little bit of a the boys were tired, and the fans were all like, "Where's Zayn?"
In 2014.
Yeah, like, where's Zayn? Harry's doing this. Harry's off doing this. You know, it was like Harry and Louis were not being friendly in public anymore. Like, everybody was just kind of like beaten down and tired. And now in hindsight, I'm like, okay, well, they were tired as human beings, and we were just kind of like, where's the band? What's going on? And so in that little bit of like a absence was also at the very same time that 5 Seconds of Summer released their first EPs and were like really looking
album.
good, and they were like dyeing their hair, and it was just kind of like a really like, oh my God, these boys are like eclectic or more eclectic than One Direction. And it's like, what's going on? And then they also had like their keeks where they were just like being so Boy Next Door, which was like kind of what One Direction brought at the beginning. And so it was kind of
And
just
they were
like
closer to our age.
Yeah, so I was kind of just like, oh my God, well, while y'all get y'all shit together, 5 Seconds of Summer is here, and I'm seeing some potential here.
Do you know that 5 Seconds, those songs, all the songs that 5 Seconds of Summer had released up until that point, including Good Girls, because that was like one of their singles.
I didn't even finish what I was going to say.
Those songs remind me of summer of 2014.
And that's what I was going to say. I was going to say summer of 2014. That whole thing that I just said stemmed from me about to be like, I remember summer of 2014, 5 Seconds of Summer, taking drives down to Dairy Queen and listening to the Don't Stop EP that's like purple. So what a coincidence that it was purple. And it had If You Don't Know and Wrapped Around Your Finger on it. And I was obsessed with those songs, and I was like, oh my God, this is magic. And so I just remember like being so hot in Memphis and just taking the break to just drive down, get a blizzard, and then drive back. I remember driving down that avenue, Summer Avenue. Mm-hmm. It was called Summer Avenue. It was actually pure bliss.
Disconnected, I'm sorry, is 5 Seconds of Summer.
Disconnected,
like in a song, and Amber
is
what,
a summer day.
Amber, what's in their
that's
name?
Raining in their blanket.
Amber, hey, what's their band name?
5 Seconds of Summer. Wait, where is this going? What in the world? What's going on?
They're summer in a bottle. I'm sorry, but if you
they're like, why they always,
if you put Disconnected in a bottle and you uncorked it and poured it out, sparkly summer evening air would come out.
Specks of
sparkly dust of
green
summer
and
evening
blue and
air,
iridescence and purple and pink.
I'm sorry, but
with like little tunes and like the evergreen trees,
the
and
heat,
you're driving
the
fast,
humidity,
and you got denim shorts on and your flannels,
the humidity.
Oh my God, wait, what is going on?
Speaking of flannels, we went to Luke's concert the other night, which is another reason why it's 2014 again. And everyone was wearing blue.
Everyone was, first of all, teenagers, and we were the only, like, I feel like we were the only people like 25 and above.
We were the oldest people there.
And they were just, they all had their phones up and were just singing every word. And honestly, I was there just because I was there as like a proud mother, like, well, Luke is having a solo show and I would like to see it.
I'm sorry, but I did feel like, because Ashton and Callum were at our show, and I did feel like I was Ashton and Callum. Like, I was like,
I know,
and I'm proud of my boy.
I was just swaying to the
and
music.
I'm like,
and his voice is beautiful still. And I was honestly, when the girls were reacting, and I was panning to him and seeing his face, and he was so happy that he was getting the reaction that he kind of got as a teenager with the band as a solo artist. And I was just like watching him, and I got emotional because I was like,
I got emotional too.
I was like, y'all, people love you. You emit this essence on stage, and just like as you are, and it's just like people, you mean something to people because of the lyrics you have written, and also just
love you.
Yeah,
I love you. Like, it was like I could
love.
feel the love in the room, and then I was emanating love. Like, at most of the time, if I wasn't swaying or bopping, I was like staring daggers into, not daggers, but what's the opposite of daggers? Like staring like
rays
gold,
of sunshine,
rays of gold at him, and just being like,
yes, oh my God. And also at the end, I can't remember what the song was now, but it was a song that I knew, and everybody was singing so loudly. No, in the middle of the show, everyone was singing so loudly. I think to like one of the ones that he just
Shakes.
And he was like, y'all. He was like, oh my
Honey,
God. And I was like, this is
wanna
beautiful. And all the fans were singing,
dreams
and he was singing, and the lights were nice, and Ooh, it was so nice. And I wish I could go to Ashton's show, but I'm gonna be out of town. But I want if each and every one of them have a solo album the same way that they did their like little solo demos that they released, or maybe they released, I can't remember now. But like of their solo demos of like each the little EPs.
I'm sorry. If Michael did a solo show,
oh my God. Think of the audience. Think of the difference in
Michael
in
girls.
audiences. Think of all the Michael girls with Michael being on stage, himself, and like with art that he is confident in himself with.
Now this is why I think that I will be a Michael girl forever, because I was originally a Michael girl in high school first, and then I've slowly evolved into like I can pick. I'll take my. It's exactly how you were with Niall. With One Direction.
Can I say, I was going to say, I don't feel comfortable claiming anybody, and I actually hate this question because
I can't claim them.
People want me to claim, for One Direction, people want me to claim Harry, and I understand that. And for 5 Seconds of Summer, I'm like, I would like to say I claim like being like a Callum girl, but the thing is, at the time, I was switching lanes every single month.
See, I
week
wasn't
to week sometimes.
See, I wasn't switching lanes. I was a fully Michael girl, but I think that means that at my core,
it's me switching lanes.
I think that what that means is at my core, not about the boys themselves, but at my core, I identify with Michael girls the most. Because as an adult, I still identify with Louis girls the most. Like when people talk about being a Louis girl, I'm like, yeah, that's me. And when people talk about being a Michael girl, which I don't see people talking about, but I can imagine that if you go to a Michael concert, everyone's hair is not a natural color.
Yeah, it's gonna be the bisexual girls.
It's gonna be
gamers,
it's gonna be the bisexual nerds who are also fangirls.
Yes,
the nerds who are also fangirls.
Yeah. Because that's what he was.
That's what he was, and that's what we are.
I remember the year was 2014, and he tweeted something about Comic-Con, and I, from then on, because also one time he was like dressed in a Spider-Man outfit. From that moment that he released that tweet and he tweeted about Comic-Con, I was like really scared that every single person in the Spider-Man costume was Michael Clifford, and I was like, I can't miss my opportunity. And it was that era where I was like, I have to meet them if they're out. I have to.
I didn't know that you really seriously thought that Michael was going to be at Comic-Con.
My head was on a swivel.
Like I genuinely like,
and
I'm glad that I didn't, because if I did, I would probably have had like anxiety attack, because I was too focused on what was going on already. However, I did have just like a frequent daydream that I would run into Michael at a comic book store once I moved to LA.
I understand that. And I understand that.
And that, Michael, if you're listening to this,
we're not crazy.
Please release solo music so we can go to one of your concerts and be nerd fangirls in your audience.
This is, oh my gosh, yes.
Like, please, and like tell us to dress up as like Mutant Ninja Turtles or something. Like, wasn't that Mike? That sounds like it was a Michael idea.
I don't know, but they were all pretty obsessed with it. I don't know. I still haven't seen. You know what is crazy is
you have to see that movie, the new movie. You have to see it.
Neither of these episodes were supposed to be about 5 Seconds of Summer. One Direction is surrounding us, and the thing is, I think that a lot of times you don't see what's right in front of you, and I've always, been like, One Direction is everything to me, and they were at that time. It's
You're gonna see, because we're gonna talk about it for an hour and a half.
No, we are. But it's set in stone. What happened, and One Direction was I'm not joking. It was my life. It was my life cord. Like, it was my oxygen tank. Like, I'm not joking. For high school, that's what was happening. But
hey,
at every single moment that I was, not paying attention to One Direction, I was identifying with 5 Seconds of Summer's content. And that's different because you know what? Now when I listen to One Direction's music, because I've been so like, emotional lately. When I listen to One Direction's music, I'm like, oh, this hits. Like, I'm like, this is exact. Like, now I get what they were saying. But you know what? I don't even think that they were saying it in the early albums. I'm like, y'all weren't even really, saying these things. I know you had a hint on like some things that you wanted to sing, but I'm just like, oh my God, I finally understand like what they were saying in interviews that these new albums were about, and kind of what they were trying to talk about.
You're talking about 5 Seconds of Summer?
I'm talking about One Direction.
Okay.
Because I'm just kind of like, oh my God, I need this like teeny bopper, like classic love song pop music.
It sounds like what you're saying is, in many ways, that type of like teeny bopper, and I'm just gonna say this because that's how people I don't have any negative connotation towards the word teeny bopper. Just like I don't have any negative connotation towards the word fangirl, but I feel like other people do. But teeny bopper music,
I agree with that.
When it's really good, it takes musical references from all music that's become before it, pop and or otherwise. And it's like this special potion where the music is addictive and the people singing it is addictive, and so it comes together, and it's really, really, really intense. Like I feel like it's a drug. I feel like One Direction is a drug that you can't hit too many times. It's not sustainable long term. 5 Seconds of Summer is like your trusty old cup of coffee that you have every single day, like for the rest of your life. And I know that coffee's not good for you. Like, you know, caffeine is a drug too, but it's like you can drink it every day, and yes, sure, there's health benefits to stopping doing it, but I'm going to drink it every day for the rest of my life, and it's long-term and it's sustainable.
Oh my God.
And it's like dependable, and like I'll be with you forever. But One Direction, I feel like that type of if they were still together to this day, I don't know what my life would be.
Oh my God, yeah, because it's like, oh my God, you're absolutely right, because it's like with 5 Seconds of Summer, it's like, yeah. I know people get hooked on caffeine if 5 seconds of caffeine in this drug sequence.
But I'm not a maniac. I'm not a caffeine maniac.
There are
people.
But there are maniacs, but also, I mean, coffee addicts. But just to keep it in context. But
yes. And also people whose caffeine affects them really badly.
But there also is enough on the internet that will tell you about the benefits of caffeine, skin related, and more. With One Direction, if we're comparing it to kind of either a hard drug or maybe alcoholism or something, it's like
the biggest high of your life.
It's the biggest high of your life, but the down part of it is really down.
Come down's
and
bad.
You're not going to be able to keep doing that outside of college.
The come down is bad,
and so
dude.
Yeah,
it's really,
it is.
It's still happening.
And so,
it's still happening.
You know, and it's still happening actually. And so, you know what? And so it's like when they, I'm sorry, y'all, but when they come back, when they. I do not make the joke that I am in like One Direction recovery for no reason. Y'all, I'm telling you, I sat down in clothing stores when their songs would come on. I would just stop shopping and sit down. Is that insane? That's a lot of like outward emotion.
Amber, do you know what I'm hearing?
What?
Is that's very neurodivergent.
Yes. I would just be like, well,
like because I feel like many people might exhibit this behavior at home, but they would never do it in public. But it's like for you as a child, you really were not.
I didn't give a fuck.
You're
actually,
not gonna.
though.
But for anything, any of your emotions.
It wasn't. I didn't give a fuck. I wasn't aware that
exactly
that was something so strange. I was just like, well,
you exhibited. You just
now.
let your emotions. You could not mask your emotions. Actually, like
right.
You did not know how to mask. I don't
think I knew how to mask.
You knew how to mask until college. Like I genuinely don't think that you learned how to mask until college. And Rachel, we can cut this out if Amber doesn't want it. But like,
I don't know.
I like in college, it was the first time that you had not been at home with people that did not get like to me, I knew you very well, and so if you were being yourself like you were at home in public, I was just like, well, that's just how she is, and other people would be like, is she okay? And I'd be like, that's just literally how she's just. Oh my God. She would do this at home. Like
that was so much better.
But at college, you were not with people that knew you, and so then you were kind of like, oh, should I mask?
The way that we're crying, and it was not One Direction related, but One Direction stemmed it. Is my entire you can describe that for my whole relationship with One Direction. Like I used them I didn't know how to mask, but I used them as masking. Yeah. I used them as an excuse because like
yes.
I was just like I'm gonna get rid of my emotions by putting them towards One Direction in any comfortable way. And I'm going to say it's because One Direction drives me insane, but
that's what fangirling is. It's a bunch of neurodivergent people using things that they love and like would do as an excuse. It was like, it's an excuse to do it in public.
It's an excuse
to do it in public.
To express themselves and kind of like let it out. Cause you know, like moving your body and like screaming is like really good for you to release, and you can't really do that on a daily basis.
No,
and,
it's literally
stimming.
stimming.
It's stimming, and so I think I was just like, well, I'll just blame it on me being really obsessed with a boy band because I hear that's normal, and I took it to a different level.
Actually, like
but
letting
so did so many other people.
But it
was normal.
It does actually.
It is normal.
People joke about Black people like getting up and running when we laugh, or like running in circles, or like dancing. But that's literally stimming because it feels better to do that while you're laughing.
Yeah,
like
because
it genuinely
like sitting and clenching
lets it
up.
out. Yeah. Instead of like being at a comedy show and having to be like,
right, like or like what? Like, oh my God. Also, you know what? I used to fully. I used to like barrel sob. Is that a term?
I think it like just.
I couldn't think if that was a term.
Chest
So I didn't-
barrel.
Sorry, that's why I was like, I don't know if that's the term I want to say. But I used to just like full body sob at
Racking.
rack sobbing in the movie theaters, like crying at sad movies.
Yes.
And even in front of like my college friends in freshman year. But then I realized that wasn't like a normal thing to do. And now I like tense my body so much when I'm like sobbing at a movie in public, and I'm like, I hate doing that.
Me too.
Like
it gives me a headache.
It hurts my body, and I can't feel anything. Like I need to cry if I need to cry at what's on the screen.
It literally gives me a headache.
Oh my God.
Oh my God. And even at horror movies when I'm screaming, I remember after I left it in theaters, I had a headache because I was screaming so much in the theater, and I was like I'm trying to make the reaction smaller while also still having it. Like I'm consciously screaming,
but cutting
off the scream and like being like, oh my God, like. But like now I'm like, why? Like I want to just like live
emote.
and emote.
Sorry, they put it on the screen to make us scream, right?
Like literally, I'm sorry. And then
this is making everyone upset, right?
But at concerts, everyone's doing that.
Exactly.
Everyone's doing that, so I can do it. And yet, still, we were seen as some of the craziest people at a concert.
There were still people
looking at us and being like,
it's because yes, they are the biggest boy band in the world. Yes, there are tons and thousands of people online and like in like neurodivergent and like everything, but they either stem differently, or there's also the additional people who just know a little bit about them and are like concert goers and just want to go, and they're just,
normies.
Like and they listen to their music, they know the words, and they're like, oh my God, they're so cute. And I would love, like, I'm gonna wear a I Love Miss Harry Styles shirt, and it's in my pencil skirt, and it's gonna be so cute. And so they go for just like, you know, like a weekend event, you know.
That's why
this is gonna be a big weekend. We're going to a One Direction concert, and they're hot boys singing. To me and to many others, it was like, I have dedicated all of my time to knowing what these 5 boys are up to, and now, by the graces of the Lord above us and any other energy beyond, I am going to be sat in the same room watching them in real time, knowing what they're doing and what they're up to, and having the chance to have a small scrap of their time by a glance or otherwise. And it's like so intense. It is like the most intense like event. It's like, no, I don't have to like look at a computer screen to like see these guys.
Now,
I know I do sound crazy.
No, now
it was an obsessive.
Let's roll it back. Let's explore.
It was an obsessive
because now everyone, you see what she's up to. Okay, everyone just witnessed what happened.
You see that burst of energy of like crazy.
You saw it come out, and a couple episodes ago, this happened to Amber, and I think it may be in the Glee episode.
Yeah,
and living it and watching it back, literally Amber like bursts into like a One Direction thing, and I'm like, oh, I wasn't expecting that. Like,
But you know what? And I'm embarrassed. And I'm embarrassed. But you know what? I know a lot of people know exactly what that energy is.
Don't be embarrassed because I think a lot of our listeners went through this. And I know that like we are a fandom podcast. We're a multi-fandom podcast. Like things happen. We like other things. We get this way about other things. But I actually want to say that Amber doesn't get this way about other things.
No.
And like this way. This is the most intense. And I would say that I only get close to it with some other things, but it's not One Direction. I do get crazy, but it's like So
the
fandom,
thing is,
the feeling of fandom, I want to say the feeling of fandom is universal across different things. But for you and One Direction, and I think this is why I think One Direction is so fascinating is because a lot of people feel this way about One Direction, and it's not just like
it's
who you would think.
Literally idolizing.
It's
and
like
it's like just an image, and you don't realize that it's not the person. And
because they're a drug. They're a really intense.
It's like
drug.
A trip.
It's
like
actually
trip.
like something that. And so that's why I kind of want to start at the beginning and like
treat. But, okay, yes,
I want to start at the beginning and then ask you some questions about how, because I want to explore how we got here.
Okay. Yes. We're going to examine things. But I want to say, yes, it's like a trip. But also I was going to say, yeah, because now in life, separately as these men are living their lives and wherever they are, I don't know. And I do not care. I do not know. And I do not care. Like,
Amen to that.
I didn't know that Zayn was in wherever Pennsylvania, because now I know, and now it's not helping prove my point, but y'all know he's in Pennsylvania too, because he said it on a podcast. So and it was all over the place. I didn't like search that down, like I wasn't looking for things.
You didn't track and I haven't tracked any information either. It just comes up.
And yeah, exactly. And you know what? The fact is, I'm not even the most extreme case, because I never personally searched anything up either. What it was other fans who were more of the sleuths posting their information and at that going viral. So I was just reading what I was given.
Yeah, but your reading habits were insane.
And my reading habits were insane.
Habits were online.
And if it was given, I was reading it. And so that is where, I do participate into the drug and the play. But I wasn't,
dealing it.
I wasn't dealing it.
You were participating, you were not dealing it though.
That's right.
You were literally like smoking weed, but you weren't a dealer.
Exactly. And so that's just a different. That's just. It
is different. No, that's different.
So yeah. So to finish my thought, because I did go off. You know what, guys? Just hold on with us, because this is going to be a crazy episode.
I know. Okay. So we're
going to be speaking really fast and really loud. So lower your headphones.
It's going to be at least 2 hours of this.
It's going to be crazy.
So we're going to be doing a part 1 and a part 2.
But
this is the part 1.
And so yes, but let me finish my thought. It's all to say, yes, I don't care where they are and what they're doing. I'm going to be honest, y'all, and don't take away my card. I'm just telling you the truth.
No, you're in recovery.
Thank you. I don't really keep up with their albums. It was really exciting to see Louis' movie in theaters, but that's the type of thing that I'm going to come up and show out for, and I'm going to watch that. I'm not really paying attention to album releases. I'm paying attention to what Zayn's doing, because I want to say that's very peculiar to me, and it's, making me think that the earth is vibrating on a different level, and some things that I thought would never happen might actually start to be happening.
What I'm hearing is that, like, separate, the drug is watered down. But the moment that you hear anything about the original, the One Direction, like, because that's when it pops out. And because you were even so far, like, traumatized, I would say, or, like, just bottled up. You had bottled it up. You wanted to bottle it up. Very soon after you joined college,
I'm done with this.
Very, very soon after you joined college, and then I feel like went from not being able to even hear the word reunion, or even like
I was just like that's not happening.
Even like if we were at the airport and it says like 1D, like 1E, 1F, and it says 1D, like you're being like, I don't want to see that. You were like that type of level.
Oh wait, I do remember parking in the Hollywood parking garage, and we parked in 1D, and I was like,
or if anybody said, and we're gonna need to move in one direction here, everybody would look at you, and you'd be like,
What? It's a joke? You know,
Like, no, don't even talk about. And so,
What are we talking? What time are we talking
right
about?
after they broke up,
Like 2016, 2015?
2016, 17.
I would believe that. I would believe that.
You wouldn't
I
even
can't
like.
remember,
You were
honestly.
like. I wouldn't. Amber, do you remember this time?
What?
I wouldn't mention One Direction to you. Even if I turned on one of their songs, you'd be like, "What are you doing?"
Oh my God, I do remember this. I was like, please just like, let's wrap it up.
Let's just like,
and
no,
pull
like,
it-
we don't need to do this.
I was just kind of like, let's pack it up. You know, I was like, it didn't end how I expected it to because there was a time. There was a time in 2013. There was a time during the Take Me Home era where when they were asked about breaking up or like one of them going solo or Zayn, are you gonna leave? Like I was like, what are these? What are they? They're just shaking things up. They're just shaking things up. Like clearly they're gonna. They were around before I was. They're older than us. So they saw the breakups of Destiny's Child and just and NSYNC and it's just something that happens. You know, it's just something. It's just something that happens. But my delusional ass, who was a child, I was 15. I was like, what are they even talking about? Everything's good. You know, it's almost like
you were in denial that they were going to break up at all?
Yeah, I was like, yes, I was like, no, they're going to keep going until every single one of them has children and they're tired. But even then, it's going to be like, we're going to go raise our families humbly in maybe 10 years, maybe now. Right about now is when I would have expected them to break up. Back in 2013, I was like, they're going to go for 10 years. What are you talking about? What do you even mean?
You didn't see it coming?
No, okay, well here it is then. So that's what I was like, what are you guys talking about? This is never gonna happen. Back in 2013, in the height of it. Okay, so then
okay.
So then as things were like building, and I just felt like by 4, yeah, I love the songs on 4. I like them. I do. I listen to them and like now I'm like, oh my God, now it makes me nostalgic for a certain time. But at the time, I was like, something's missing, and I feel like the boys are disconnected, and you know, I'm feeling disconnected, but I've dedicated my time to them. So like, what else am I gonna do? You know,
you're like,
I was like married to them.
When my friends were like talking to me about like, oh, One Direction seems like they're gonna break up. Do you think so? And I'd be like, let me talk to Amber. And I would like check in with you, and then I would only say whatever you said was thinking, because I was like, I don't trust these bitches online.
Okay, and then I was over here like, no, they ain't gonna break up. Like, like I was like, no, that's not happening anytime soon. Like you have to understand that they are bonded for life. They are brothers.
Amber.
Like I was like, what do you mean? But then
how did you feel about the Jonas Brothers breaking up in 2013?
You have to let my mind shift for a second. Because it was saying to me, but I'm trying to explain to you what I was going through, because we have to talk about this.
Yeah, because this is overlap. Okay,
we have to talk about this.
Are you telling your story?
No, just let me speak.
Okay.
I was obsessed with the Jonas Brothers from 4th grade, November 2007. That's the Hannah Montana Best of Both Worlds concert. I think I was whatever.
No, you were in 3rd grade.
4th, 2007, November. 2008.
4th, yeah.
Because I remember being in class. So yes. Anyways, I was obsessed with them from then until right around 6th grade, where I wrote I signed my pledges. Like you had to sign your honor on your quizzes and tests that you didn't cheat or
on
do
my
things.
honor.
I
pledge.
Like Zuko. Oh my God, I can't do this. My head is gonna explode.
Don't mention Zuko. Don't mention Zuko.
We gotta put a cap on it.
Don't.
Okay. So I was citing Mrs. Jonas on my tests and quizzes. Like everybody knew Jonas Brothers.
Amber Jonas.
I'm Jonas Brothers. I was the girl that you needed to talk to if you had an obsession. And Mrs. Jonas is obviously because I'm married to Joseph Adam. No one else. Don't get it twisted. Like I was very specific, and they were like, "Which one's your favorite?" I was like, "You should actually know by now." And
who people kept
teachers. And I was like, you need to figure out what it is and let it stick.
Teachers.
Just teachers. But I even had, like, was singing Taylor Swift songs all the time because our song was really big and she was into that. And I was like, well, she has humiliated my man and she shouldn't have even had him in the first place. Like, this was when I was 10, you guys.
Yeah.
And so
I felt the same way at 12.
So and I wouldn't even have had a problem with it if wasn't trying to say something to me about it. And I was
She
like,
was?
yeah, you know, she knew the news. I knew the news. Bleep out her name. We both, everybody knew, like, Taylor humiliated him on Ellen. Aired out the business because she felt humiliated by the phone call. Just to even that out.
So crazy, though.
And so we were just like,
that happened.
Like, and
imagine
it was beef.
I mean, I guess it happened. Do you think it happened with Olivia Rodrigo and Joshua Bassett? Or do you think that was different? Because she never said his name once.
I don't know what I literally don't. I can't shift there. I don't give a fuck. At this point, they don't exist because we're talking about things way before their time. So, anyways, the question was about Jonas Brothers. I'm trying to get my story.
Right.
So, I think I just gulped in the mic. I'm so sorry. By 6th grade, I was like still obsessed with him, but I think it was like they were probably, now that we've like gotten all the documentaries, I can piece it together, which is honestly the greatest gift time has given me. I don't know what, like all the documentaries of everything that was going on behind the scenes of our childhood. I'm like, I need to know. Give me the truth.
I need to know.
Reveal all of the answers. I'm fed up with all of the myriads and mirages. So just tell me everything, and I now know because you know I used to be delusional, and now I have answers so that I can inform myself moving forward, and that's what growth is. I'm very excited for my 40s.
Tomorrow,
learn my yesterday. Okay,
that's what we're doing
exactly. And so, 6th grade, I had a teacher who kind of took the Mrs. Jonas thing too far and like made me go out in the hallway with a banana, and oh my god. She's not gonna listen to this.
Oh my god, that crazy woman. Oh my god, she's not listening to this.
Okay. So there was a teacher who used to give me a banana phone and make me go out in the hallway.
As Michael Jackson one year.
Oh my god,
a white woman.
Oh my god. But listen, she used to go outside. She used to like act like she got a phone call on the banana phone and give it to me and make me go outside and act like I had a phone call with him. And I was like, you see, and now I feel like I've mistaken all of y'all about what I'm about because I know I'm seeming delusional, but I know that there's not an existence in this world where I could. I didn't even believe the things in the back of those Tiger Beat magazines where it's like, call Selena if you dial 571. Like I didn't even believe in that. I didn't even believe in their addresses. I was like, this is a studio. This ain't them. I was like, okay, you guys think that I seriously know these people, and even I know that, and I don't know how to convey that to you at this time because I'm 10 and I did tell you guys that I was Mrs. Jonas 1,000 times over, and I do understand the confusion, but I just kind of like was like,
they do not know how to.
I was like, it was like and also I think that I see what she was doing. She was trying to play along and give into that, but I think that that's something that I could have gotten from like maybe an earlier teacher when I was younger, and maybe that would have made me more delusional, but also maybe that would have been like a sweet little anecdote that she was trying to do to make my day better.
You have to remember the context that.
But this
teacher was.
Yes,
she
different,
was,
and so. I just think that it was just a little bit like too much for me. And also I just remember after those classes, my friends were like, what is going on? Did that make you feel weird? I was like, yes, that made me feel weird. I'm like, they were like, what did you do out there? And I said, I just went out there and just kind of like mumbled so she thought I was talking to him. And they were like, oh my. And so everybody was in on it of like, that was weird. Like, and so I was like, okay, I need to like pull it back because there are rumors that are spreading, and so then I was just like, you know what? I'm kind of like over it. Like, also they were out of the scene. Like they had like stopped doing things on Disney Channel. Which I was gonna say, now seeing their documentaries, I see that they were like on break from their contracts or whatever. They were figuring things out. I don't know. I don't give a fuck. But
exactly.
So I just like peeled away from the Jonas Brothers.
You didn't care about their breakup.
Not in 2006, when they just went on hiatus and they just kind of peeled away.
2006.
I mean, when was I? I mean, 2009 when I was in 6th grade. I was just like, I don't care that I'm not seeing them that often right now.
Me too.
But when they came back in 2012, I was like, the Jonas Brothers are back? And then they released that song, and I was like, I don't like this song.
Me too.
And then
I was like, oh, like they have been gone for a while. Like, I liked their last album. We got to see them. Like, it was like the peak, and then they kind of like stopped doing stuff. So I was like, oh, okay. And I replaced them with some other people. And so then like I was like, oh, a new song.
Yeah.
And then I listened to it, and
it wasn't.
We didn't like it. We like.
It was just like,
I remember like talking to you about it, and being like,
off.
what do you think? Well, I think we watched the Pom Poms video together, and then we were like,
well, that's even the second one, because I was gonna say, and then they released another one, and I didn't like that one. And that's Pom Poms. I'm talking about First Time. Do you remember that one? See,
not
you
even. I don't even remember it.
But see, okay, and I want to say that I was like excited to have them back, because at the same time I was paying attention to Justin Bieber with Believe after a time that I stopped paying attention to him. Like, I had a very small short window with Justin. It was only 9 months of my life. I did the calculations. It was like the summer of 2010 to the middle of 7th grade, which was like 2011, because I was obsessed with him through my concert my World concert that I went to, which was the summer, through his Never Say Never. But then up until his birthday, I was just kind of like over it.
You skipped it, but then we came back in 2012.
And then I came back in 2012 because we were like, oh, this song is cute.
I love that album.
Like, that album was nice.
I love that album. Beauty and the
Beat.
Then we had,
and then we also had tickets, so we were just kind of like,
all
let's get
around
hype.
the world. Like,
yes.
As Long as You Love Me. Like, these are
Out of Town Girl. Come on. And so I just remember being like, oh my God, it's crazy, because I'm obsessed with 3 different things at the same time forever, because by that time I had been obsessed with One Direction, which I will get into extensive explanation in a second. But it was 2012, so I had been obsessed with them because I got obsessed with them the summer before. And so I was like, oh my gosh, I love Justin Bieber, Jonas Brothers, and One Direction all at once. And then the Jonas Brothers fell off, and I was already kind of like faking that for myself. I was like, I don't really care what they're doing, and I don't like what they're doing. But then when they were on that show where they were announcing their breakup, they looked so sad. Mm-hmm. And I really expected, I think I took them for granted, because I expected them to just stay together and figure it out, and I would just pay attention whether it's good or not.
Yeah, me too.
And they were breaking up, and I was like, well,
oh,
now
no.
what? And it was like, I think it was like my first like heartbreak, like fandom-wise. I was like, what do you break up? Like, I know you haven't been around, but you're breaking up.
What would we do? What were we doing?
What I thought y'all were gonna,
I thought y'all were
your
still
brothers.
there.
So then I was like, what the hell? And then Justin started doing things that I thought were questionable, and so I couldn't give my integrity to.
So you were gypped twice.
And so I was like,
One Direction.
well, Justin Bieber's out too, because he's going through some things that I can't support with my chest, my Christian chest. He's saying that he's Christian. Let me cut it out.
No.
Listen, I know he is Christian. What? Cut it out. Or keep it. I'm gonna stop talking. Keep it, and I'm gonna stop talking. But But I was just like, I can't. No, like, I had a reputation to like be like, I am obsessed with like clean guys. Like, they're good. They might be a little. They got some shenanigans to them, but they're good. And he was spitting on people. He was spitting on fans. So, and cheating openly, and like that's his business, and I don't know anything. But like, all of the things were things that you couldn't really like say weren't true. Whereas there were things with One Direction where I was like, well, I'm not gonna fault him for it.
Also, I mean, you
and there's no proof.
You came of age with One Direction in a way that you like those guys weren't.
I was ready to be a little rebellious too.
Yes.
By that age, I was like, you know what? They don't have to be perfect.
Exactly.
So
and our deprogramming was happening.
Exactly.
Like our Christianity deprogramming was going on when One Direction happened, and so when they were talking about sex, honestly, like I explored my sexuality through One Direction heavy.
Yeah, I mean,
like, a lot.
When I listened to Rock Me, I was like,
You need to rewind.
I'm like, what are these boys implying?
No, I can't get into Rock Me because then I'll get into how I got into One Direction, but I want you to go first.
Okay. So here's what I'm gonna say.
What year was it?
Oh my God. Are we getting into this?
Yes.
I'm just gonna start from the beginning. The very beginning. From where I didn't even care.
From the very beginning.
It's okay. Okay, it's 2011. I am obsessed with Bertie Gilbert, Harrison Webb, Ralphie, and Dom.
I just felt so speechless for those listening. I just fell back to my knees.
Okay.
To hear those names.
Bertie Gilbert was found or discovered in the Miller household because he played Scorpio Malfoy in the last
Scorpius.
And it all goes back to the summer of 2011 where we were talking about this is the same time frame as Glee and Harry Potter.
That was a generative summer. Like for both of us. It was like a cesspool.
That was like we are live, laugh, loving in what we like, and ain't nobody gonna tell us nothing because the thing is, both of us like it, and so if somebody else doesn't, we do. You know what? I think that's the first summer that we really aligned in things that we liked since High School Musical. So that's crazy. Okay, so it's summer 2011. Back, okay.
That place.
So Harrison Webb released this, I think it was like OMG Harrison Webb, but he released a cover of What Makes You Beautiful.
And just give like one sentence explanation of who these white boys are that you just name dropped because some people might not know Bertie Gilbert.
Bertie Gilbert, he
Harrison
played,
Webb
right. I already said he plays Scorpius Malfoy from Harry Potter, the last one, in the epilogue, Draco's child. But he had a YouTube channel and he was like very, he was just a charming guy and we were like, oh my God, he has movies and opinions that we think that we like too, and he has these friends that they were doing shenanigans with and they like made little sketches and play games and you know YouTubers, you know the effect.
Yeah, and we were also obsessed with YouTube. Like we were both obsessed with YouTube.
Right. And so we were like, oh my God,
this is British YouTubers. This is like the beginning of British YouTubers too.
Yes. Yeah, it is. And so we subscribed to all 4 of their channels, and yeah, so I was subscribed to OMG Harrison Webb, and he released a What Makes Beautiful cover. But I don't think that he put cover in the title. I think he put it in the description. And so when I listened to the song, it was a sped up version, and it was like, a weird effect, because it was, I don't know what he did, but it was a sped up version. And I was like, oh my God, this is such a cute song. He wrote this? And I was just like, oh my God. And I thought it was his song, and I used to watch that video all the time, and then one day, and I figured it out now. One day, I'll just say it. One day, on the side, it said "What Makes You Beautiful" One Direction music video, and you guys know that. You guys know the thumbnail,
the recommended videos.
Yes, and you guys know the original thumbnail, and the recommended is on the side. And so I was like, "What is that? And why does it look so high quality? And why does it look like it's an official account?" And now I put it together that he made this music video before that one was released, but the song was out because clearly that happens all the time.
That's so crazy.
And then so the day that I was watching it for the 100th time, this music video dropped, and so I clicked on it, and y'all, I didn't have great opinions. I was like, why is this song slower? Who are these people? Why is one looking like Joe Jonas? Trigger. It is 2011. I haven't seen him or thought of him since before Justin Bieber at this point. And then why is one's curly head lopsided? Like he's got a whole curl ball over here.
Talking about Harry?
I'm talking about Harry. And then I'm so sorry, but I was rude. I said, what's wrong with Niall's teeth? And that's rude. And then Louis, I was like, this one looks very European. Have I hit them all? Liam, I was like, this one looks like the most closest thing that I've seen before, but I don't care about him. I didn't care about him. And so I was just like, that was the weirdest experience of my life, and I don't know what I just watched. Why do these boys have higher quality video of Harrison's song? And then I went back. And I'm not joking. This is the thought process. And then I went back and scrolled and I saw that Harrison song was in fact a cover, and I was like, oh, what is this? And so then I went back to the music video. The next thumbnail I saw was Harry at a book signing, because they were doing that in 2011.
Book signing?
You know, they used to do book signings for
what book?
For this book that's sitting right in front of us. I forgot what it's called. One Direction, Life as One Direction, their very first book.
When did it come out?
2011. They were doing book signings. They were doing mall signings because
they had been together less than a year, and they had a book.
Yeah, because they were telling where they came. Each boy gets a chapter of where they came up. It's like a memoir of their childhood to One Direction,
sorry.
and it was actually important news, Amanda.
No, can we all hear this? This is brilliant marketing.
I know it is.
This is absolutely brilliant marketing going on here.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah,
to
it is.
have 5 boys from places that are like working class, like anybody can be a star just based off talent, and if you showed up to the audition, and everyone loves them so much because they're so normal. Let's tell them all about their past.
And see, what the thing is that's how all of the bands are before us. Like that's how NSYNC was too.
Yeah.
Justin's from Memphis.
Yeah.
But with they were like, let's capture it from the beginning. That's the whole thing that American Idol was. That's the whole thing X Factor is. It's like, let's sincerely capture the journey from the beginning. Like y'all are gonna see who they were in their hometown and their rise to the top. They hadn't been able to do that in the 90s because they didn't have that idea.
And it will also, but though that. I'm talking about like because it was yes, that's exactly what happened, but our generation was like one of the first to have like that type of transparency. Like we had Twitter, we had literally
access.
Direct
they had
transparency.
behind the scenes.
Like we saw from the very beginning.
Yeah.
Like we didn't just like, yes, like NSYNC probably has like a very similar story. Although I don't know, because I do think that X Factor and things like American Idol like are different
because it's open
like
auditions.
it's open audition. It's like anybody based on your voice.
You're right.
And like yes, there's like, okay, so they want to see if they can market you, but look at these boys. Okay, they come from wherever.
Yeah,
they are adorable.
They
just
like
picked them out. They literally scouted. It's like
they're like roughy and scruffy boys. They're just like, okay,
that scene
we can
in the
do
other two.
Here.
That scene in the other two. Which I love because I feel like they're the One Direction lore on there. I don't know. I think that they make fun of it in an adequate way. And like when Streeter goes to the prom in like the suburbs, the kids dance, and he's like trying to build his own little boy band and based off of their like looks and their personalities. I'm like, yes, that's what they're doing.
Yes, I mean that's exactly what they did. They put them together, and all of these boys were like, well, we want a chance at superstardom, so yeah, this works. But where was I? Oh, where was I? Okay. So then the next thumbnail I saw. So I went
the book signing.
Yes. So the book signing. So the thumbnail to the next. I was like, okay, I'm gonna go. So let me catch you guys up. After I realized that it was Harrison Webb's, it was a cover from Harrison Webb. I went back to the music video, and then the next recommended was Harry Styles at a book signing, and the fan was asking him to say, that's my fault. Was asking him to say something about pussy.
What?
Yes, because he famously said on X Factor to the winner in his ear, think of all the pussy you're going to get. This is 16-year-old Harry Styles.
What?
Yeah, and he talked about it on a TV show. He said, my mom did give me a tell-off for that one. Like it was a thing. And but I didn't know that lore at the time, so I was like, I was like, what's going on here? I was so innocent. Like, I was like, okay. And then, what is that? So then I think I just kind of left it. And then 8th grade started. And the girls at my, like, history table were talking about Louis and Liam's girlfriends. And I was like they were talking
at school.
Yeah, they were talking about Eleanor and Danielle a lot. So the girls were in the lore. In my grade were in the girlfriend lore at least. In 8th grade in 2011 when they first started. And so I was like, what's going on? So then I was like, what is One Direction? Who's Louis? Who's Danielle? And who whatever. I figured out One Direction is the thing that I was watching. But then, hold on, the story's not adding up because when were they on?
They were on X Factor in 2010.
No. When were they on iCarly? Was that
2012?
Okay, so then yes, it is. Okay, so then I was like, what? Then in 2012 was when I heard the girls talking about them, and I was like, you guys are talking about those boys, and by then I had seen their video diaries just on the couch. And then I went back and watched a lot of their interviews because they had a lot of content, but not a lot. Like I was like really proud of myself that I stopped after just the video diaries and one interview.
Just because these girls were talking about it?
No. This is before the girls were talking about it.
Oh.
I did this on my separate time because I didn't think it was anything to like even talk about because I didn't know people actually knew who they were. And then I heard these girls talking about it and I was like, oh, I've had my time, liking them, and I'm like, oh, I like them too. But I was also paying more attention to Big Time Rush at this point. Like that's how checked out I was from like fandom. Like Big Time Rush was feeding me enough, and so in Hunger Games, but. So I was just kind of like, okay, like I'm not really paying attention to them, but who you care about their girlfriends now? And that was something I had never experienced, not in Jonas Brothers, not in Just Me. I never cared about their love lives. I was like, that's not even what I'm here for. We were too young to like really pay attention to it. Pay attention to the gossip because you didn't really care about the gossip until middle school anyway. Yeah. Late middle school. And so then after that, What Makes Beautiful kept playing, and I was like, it is a good song. I never listened to the album. By the end of 8th grade, that's like the 2012 that I'm talking about, I'm getting ready for a school dance. My friend's like, oh, you should let's listen to the whole album when we get ready. So we're playing it, and I was like, oh, this is good.
Up All Night?
Yeah. Yes. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like listening to it, and I'm like, great.
Is this the summer or just school year?
This is the last day of, this is the 8th grade dance, so the last day of school in 8th grade. So this is May, it's like May 2012, and we're ramping up here. Be careful, everyone. I'm sorry for the messy entrance. I was rushing, and so I hope everyone was kind of following, and I hope you guys were. Because we're ramping up here, and I feel like I really just wanted to be as clear as possible, and I don't think I was because I was rushing to get there. Keep up, please. Rewind, even. This is important. So I listened to it, and I still was like, great. I've seen them on iCarly. I know that they're cute boys, and I've even listened to the whole album. And you know what? I'm fine. I'm not about to, claim them as one of my husbands like I did when I was 10. Who fucking cares? They're cute, whatever. I was really cocky about it. And I even said it to Mother in the driveway once, like in a drive-thru. I was like getting food, and I was like, listen to this song, and now you listen here. I'm not going to get obsessed with them. And she was like, okay. And I was like, now don't say it in that tone because you listen here. I'm not going to get obsessed with them. I've seen this, and I've seen this of theirs, and I've seen this of this, and I started listening all everything that I knew about them. And I was like, and I'm not going to get obsessed with them. So it's just not going to happen. And I didn't, that was about probably like May. But then Nickelodeon got a hold of them and said, we're releasing a documentary where you're going to see behind the scenes of these boys at like one of their cabins, like, and fucking around and making music. And, you're going to get to know them and see what the pop life, like a documentary. Okay. And so I was like, well, it's on Nickelodeon. This is like one of the 2 channels I watch mostly at this point still. Yeah. And you know what? Why wouldn't I, just tune in? I like Nickelodeon. I tuned in, and this is June or July. And
this is July because it happened while I was away. I want everyone to know that this happened while I was away. I did not witness this firsthand.
No. Oh my God.
I did not witness this
firsthand.
Okay,
it was early July.
I saw them on iCarly, and they still didn't get me.
When did you start film camp? 2012? Was that the first time?
July 2012.
Okay, yes. And so, but
it was not my first time at film camp.
Okay, but then you also had dance camp before it, right? Why were you gone for so long?
It was literally just a week.
Okay, but then there was something that happened then. I think because listen, I watched the documentary, and I was like, that was so. No, you're right. It was while you were away.
It was while I was away. Everybody.
Because I was gonna say I watched the documentary and was like, that was cute, and I'm still great. But then I like a few weeks passed, and then I dug in.
It was like night and day. I just stress this.
That's exactly what happened. I'm right. Okay, I watched the documentary, and I was like, that was so cute. That it was so cute, and I love them, but it's fine. Like I didn't have any bad. I was like, you know what? If they throw something at me, I'll watch it. But I'm still fine. And then while you were away at film camp, I was sleeping on the couch because I often did that, just because I was like always watching something. And on my computer, I opened it, and the interview that I had watched all those months ago, early 2012, in around March, like when I was doing my digging before I even heard the girls talk about it, showed up, and I was like, let me click it because now I actually have names and fate. Like now I'm actually like giving personality. I'm getting personalities from this. So let me click it and watch this interview. I watched it, and I was like, okay, well, let me click it and watch this interview. And I watched a couple things, and I was like, these clips are crazy. Like, they are so cute. Like, they're not bad. I thought they were bad before.
How many weeks was this after the documentary?
Maybe 2. Like, when you went to camp. I think the documentary came in at the end of June, and then whenever you went to camp, I was sleeping on the couch and watching a lot of stuff, and then...
What made you wait so long?
I'm telling you, it was like the serum was stuck, but it took a minute. Like, I was like, well, whatever. And it wasn't even my intention. It came up as recommended. It was the old interview that I saw, and I was like, I remember watching that interview, but I didn't really have much to go off of when I watched it. So I watched it again, and then I was like, I'm piecing things together. And so then I kept clicking on recommended videos, and then the video diaries I watched, which were the best content I had seen back then, I was like, see, I watched the video diaries, those are the most charming things I've ever seen in my life, and I'm still not obsessed with them. And I rewatched them in this go round, and I was like, uh-oh. Uh-oh. And I remember it. Oh my God, I remember it like it was yesterday. I stayed up until 4 a.m. and like put every single video I watched into a YouTube playlist. And by the end of those 2 weeks, I think I had 2 full YouTube playlists, like One Direction 1, One Direction 2, and that's like 400 videos. I had watched every single video I could find of them, just like sitting there, just like watching them, just like, and then went back and I was like, I haven't even listened to the music yet. I was like, I've been watching all these clips they're doing promo. I haven't even listened to the music.
But you had heard it, but you hadn't listened to it again.
I had heard it, but I hadn't listened to it again. Like, I was like, yeah, I liked it back then, but I didn't care because, like, whatever. I'm not going to put it on myself.
And then what happened?
And so then I
listened to the music.
So then I listened to the music, and I was like, why did they give Louis and Niall such little parts? I was like, is it because, like, let them sing? I was like, yeah, I know Harry's got a really bold voice, and Liam's definitely like a strong intro, but let him sing, let him. And the community and I was just like, oh my God, wait, I love this, and I couldn't stop. I was like, this is what I'm about, y'all. And so by the time we came and picked you up from film camp, it was the only thing I had been listening to, and you came into the very thick of it, into the thick of it. I was like, I came out there. It was like the second time. It was the second summer then? No, the third summer. The third summer we had been out in LA. One summer we met
Chris Colfer.
One summer, 2010 we met Moises Arias. 2011 we met somebody.
Chris Colfer.
Was that 2011? No, that was 2012.
No, it was 2012.
Okay, so then
Chester. No, that was 2012.
So then 2012, I was out there ready to meet another celebrity, and I was like, but I was in the business by now, so I was like, I know that they're not gonna be in LA. Like, I know that that's not gonna happen. Is that gonna be a good episode?
Yes.
Okay. Anyways, so then
let us know if you like.
Yeah,
this.
let us know. So then coming out to LA summer of 2012, I was like, oh my God, I'm gonna go see some more stars. And I was like, but this year's different because I have some specific stars I would like to see, which was very different for me at that time.
Who were they?
One Direction. But I was like, I know that they're not gonna be here, but I didn't really like know a lot. I didn't know how the fans knew them. I just had seen a lot of like videos of fans meeting them at airports, and I didn't know how that worked yet, but I knew that it was a possibility. Do you know what I mean? And so I came out there and I was like, they're not here. But then I was like, the Teen Choice Awards are this week. What if they're there? That means they're here. And so that really perked me up, and so my head was on a swivel. Like I said earlier about someone else, my head was on a swivel. But then the Teen Choice Awards 2012, they just sent in a video. So they were never here.
Oh my God.
But I was really paranoid and very annoying that summer because you got the thick of the start.
I didn't understand.
Like I was like, you've missed a lot.
I did not understand.
I've subscribed to One Direction
because I want to say that we had a conversation about them and how we didn't care about them.
Exactly.
Like we had a conversation together.
Like I was like,
because my friends,
not catching.
A couple people in my grade were obsessed with them at the end of 10th grade. For me,
right? Because
a couple people were obsessed with them.
People were going to the Big Time Rush concert for One Direction. I was like, that's just crazy. Y'all don't want to see Big Time Rush? They got some hits. I was like, the city is out. And so I remember we had that conversation, and we were like, whatever, like that's rude. Like sure, One Direction's cute, and you know, I think I was like, yeah, One Direction's cute. I've seen things like, and like I didn't grab on, and we know if I didn't grab on, it's not even anything worth it. Okay,
so can I just weave into like a little bit of what you just said?
Yes.
So while you were in your grade with people,
well, hold on. Before this, okay, so yes, you got into the thick of it. Freshman year started, and that was when I really started only like really like being on Tumblr. I think August of 2012 was when I was like, let me get on Tumblr, because that was when they dropped the Live While We're Young music video, and that was the first music video I was around as a fan live. And so, hold on. And so then, sorry, y'all. And so I remember having the urgency of having to see it at that moment, and when that urgency happened, I was like, I gotta know even more. I gotta get into this.
Okay, because listen, to me, for me, yes, but we have to pause it because this is how you got into it.
Okay.
Because for me, you were talking. Now you're gonna, from this point on, you're gonna talk about how you got crazier and crazier.
Oh.
To me, it was crazy from day one. Like I feel like yes, sure, it did get. I didn't think it could get crazier because for me, I had no idea who One Direction was for the longest time. I heard What Makes You Beautiful sometimes, and like a couple people at the same time as people started talking about it in your grade, people started talking in my grade, and I was like, what? Like, yeah, like I'm still kind of loyal to the Jonas Brothers, and I'm just waiting for them. I'm not gonna
get into anything right now.
And a few people, one of my close friends and her sisters were obsessed with One Direction, and I was like, I just don't get it. Like, I don't like, this song is not that good. Like, and I didn't listen to any of the other album, but I was like, What Makes You Beautiful? Like, I don't even care. And I kept seeing the screenshots and gifs of them on Tumblr.
I wasn't on Tumblr
and
like
I
that.
was like,
they put me on Tumblr. It's a thing.
See, I saw them on Tumblr and I kept scrolling way past them because I kept thinking they were just a K-pop band. Sorry, but I was never into K-pop. But I would see them on my dashboard all the time, and I just scroll over, and it's like a bunch of like pale guys with dark hair. I literally, and maybe one of them's blonde. Like, I thought it was K-pop, and so I was like, One Direction sounds like a K-pop name.
Yeah, and
so I just kept scrolling past, and then people at school were talking about it, and I was like, One Direction, and when I found out they were like a British band of white boys and one who isn't really, but passing. Oh. No, I'm talking about Zayn.
Yeah, I thought you meant British. You were talking about the white part. White. I was like, yeah, Zayn's from Ireland. Make sure you know that. Remember Niall's from Ireland.
Niall's from Ireland.
Remember that.
And okay, no, but when I found out, I was like, what? Like, I kept being like, I thought they were a K-pop band. Like, I was so upset that I wasn't. Like, my whole world changed. Yeah. And then we had a conversation where we were like, yeah, like, I don't know, like, I don't get it. Like, we were still like Big Time Rush, like Jonas Brothers were there, like, it was okay.
Yes. I swear you were like away. You went to like dance camp, or maybe you went to a trip, but like I watched the documentary without you. Like I was like, yeah, I'll tune in because the iCarly episode was cute. So like, yeah, I'm watching Nickelodeon.
And I watched the iCarly episode, and I was like, Harry was the only one who was really like featured like that. Like, I couldn't tell their personalities because of, like, it was just like really hairy.
See, and I had watched the video diary, so I was like, I knew that Louis was my favorite initially because he was the loudest one.
And I remember you telling me things about them while we watched the iCarly episode, but you were like, but I'm not really like, I don't know, like, no, I'm not into it. But that's weird because like he's usually the one that talks the more.
Oh my god, I remember that
about Louis.
Yes,
and I was like, really? He's like barely talking, and
because they didn't give him anything.
They didn't give him any lines, and so then I went away to film camp. I had no idea what was going on in Amber's head.
I can't believe it. It was like it was
back, and in our rental car when they picked me up, all Amber could listen to, and she kept playing "Gotta Be You" over and over.
It was
and over
not.
and over.
No, Amanda in her memory clings on to "Gotta Be You," but it was actually the entire album, which Amber, I don't know if that makes it better or worse.
Amber,
it was on a loop. It was not one song.
Okay,
it was the album. It was on a loop.
I will give you that. However, "Gotta Be You" play that.
I think it just like
that song. That album's not long.
No, I think hearing it again made you be like, and we're hearing it again,
and we're here. Like it's grating to listen to on repeat. Like I'm talking, the album was only on repeat.
Oh my god,
all day. It was like we had listened to the album like 5 times.
Oh my god!
Before I was like, we can't listen to this anymore. I can't listen to this goddamn song anymore. I can't listen to Harry's high note. It's gotta be you. I couldn't do it anymore. I was like, Amber, what? And I was kind of betrayed. I was like, Amber. I looked at you in the backseat. I said, Amber, what happened?
Yeah, I remember that. What happened? And I was like, I remember this conversation.
I was like, hey. After you were like scream singing, I was like, Amber, and I'd be like, Amber, stop.
No, it was Amber, stop. It was when you were like, building up. You said we cannot play any more One Direction. I was like, we listen to your music all the time, and I was like, but, and then you were like, why? What happened? Like, why? Amanda, what happened?
It's a man.
Who? I'm scared. What were they doing?
No, he was like,
oh my god,
he was in the wrong room. Oh my god, that scared the shit out
that
of
like
me.
gave
I was
me
like,
spooked. Oh my
face?
god.
Did you see my face? Oh my god.
Oh my god, that scared me.
That scared me. No,
But-
no. What did I say?
You were like
We
what
can't
happened?
listen to
We
it.
can't
I
listen
said-
to this anymore. And then I was like, well, we got into an argument. You were like, tell me what happened because you didn't care about them like this before I left. And so then I said, well, I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I don't know what I said. I really
I
can't
don't know
remember.
what you said either.
But
I don't think you
I think I
said.
told
I don't
you-
think you gave me like an answer that I understood.
I think I said
It wasn't enough.
I don't know.
It wasn't enough for me to understand what was going on.
All
Because
I
was
know-
like, I was like, what do you mean we listen to my music? Just listen, give me another album, like something else. Like I cannot listen to this album anymore.
I know what it was. That trip I was listening was when I had hopped off. By the time we got to that trip, it was by the time I hopped off of YouTube, I had like thought that I was caught up there, and I had ordered this book right here that had come out a year before, and I was like, oh, they have a book? I haven't read the book, and I'm gonna listen to the album too. And so I was reading. This book came right before that trip, and I was reading that.
On the trip?
Yes, this is what I was reading in the car. And so I was so intensely obsessed with them because I was learning more about them while listening to their album after knowing everything that I had known. And so it was just building while I was there. I was like, because I love these boys. And the fact that you won't let me listen to these boys when I am like actually falling in love with them is disrespectful.
Like, I was probably like, put in earphones. Like, can we listen to something else on? I remember being like, can
That
we
was
listen to
always an
something else
argument.
on the radio? And you just put in your earphones and I put in mine.
Oh my God.
And you were like, I have to hear it full volume.
That was always an
I was
argument.
like, oh my God.
Oh my God, this is bringing back so many memories. Oh my God. But yeah, by the time school year started, Live While We're Young came out like 2 weeks in. I was like, I'm obsessed. I had found one other girl in my grade who was obsessed, but then she immediately hopped off the wagon. Like she was like,
Why?
Like I don't know. It was overnight. She was like, you know what? I'm not really into them anymore. And I was like, oh, that's weird. I was like, red flag, because. What? Because she was just as obsessed with me, and then she's like, I'm not into that. And you know what? I think we've talked about it before, and she's like probably explained to me. It was like, a very valid reason. It was normal reason. Like she just, wasn't into them anymore. But then
Amber, she didn't let up. Like, she didn't let up trying to get me into them. Like after that trip, because we had to be in the car all the time.
Also, I think we were so connected on a lot of our obsessions in 2011 with like Harry Potter, Glee, the YouTubers. I think I was like, if you just saw what I saw, you would know that they're amazing. And I was like trying to get you to see it, but it was like you were sick of it, so you didn't want to look at it clearly. And that's crazy.
And I remember one song specifically. Oh my God, this is crazy because it is not only like lines up, but like it's literally because I got my license that you got me into One Direction finally.
Right.
And in the semester between that summer and when you did, like sometimes I'd be like, okay, you can play I Want because I like that song.
Oh, I remember
and
that.
Like, but please don't play anything else. Like I can't do it in the morning. And so you would play I Want, and mommy would still be in the car, and we would do it, and it would be fine. But then it was not until I got my license.
Oh my God.
That spring of 2012, and then I started driving Amber to school, and it was just me and Amber for the first time like ever in a car.
Yeah.
And so she was like, we would do like a playlist that like
Yeah.
songs that both of us liked, and sometimes we would listen to like Ed Sheeran because we both liked that, or like we would listen to stuff that we both liked, and we couldn't listen to One Direction because I didn't like it. And so Amber was like, okay, well, let me. She just kept trying to get me with little songs. Kiss You didn't get me. Cannot believe it. Live While We're Young didn't get me. Like none of these. None of them got me. And then you played Rock Me, and I heard Louis' voice on that chorus, and I said, play that again.
Oh my God.
Like immediately. I was like, hey, play that one more time.
And you were like, who's that? And I was so excited.
Which one is that
I was
singing?
so excited that you asked me who someone was, because I was like,
She was like, Louis. And I was
We've
like,
got her.
why doesn't he sing as much?
And now is like, and then I remember I went in. I was like, and that's what they all say because he has a beautiful voice, doesn't he? He's a perfect person, isn't he? You hear it now. You know what I've been saying all these weeks. He's amazing, and so is everything around him, isn't it? And you get it now. And yes, I'll play it again as many times as we need to until you understand and you watch more. And then you slowly did start watching more. Not as much as me.
No.
But
Because
no.
I couldn't sustain it. Like I genuinely could not sustain it.
No, because
like,
at the end of the day, I think that we really wrapped it up where it's like, I think that I was honestly obsessed with them because I was like, I know something that's gonna stick for a while.
I think like
I like these boys and that's what I know.
I was also a little older.
Mm-hmm.
So when I was, wait, how old were you?
15.
See, this is gonna, I hate this, but I think my heightened like crazy fangirl thing when I was your age was Harry Potter. Like when I was end of 8th grade to like whatever 9th grade, 10th grade, like I was obsessed with Harry Potter. I knew everything about it. I was a crazy person, like crazy.
I remember that.
Crazy. And that's sad because I don't want to activate that ever really again.
Oh my God, and that's true heartbreak. Because that's true heartbreak.
I was like, and it's over.
Yeah.
But for real, like
because I'm getting to the point, well, I was before Zayn came out of the bushes, I was getting to the point where I was like, you know what, I can look at old videos of One Direction and just like have them be a nostalgic thing. Like, yeah, they're not gonna come back. And I'm actually very happy with what I got. Now that Zayn's back, I'm like, what is gonna happen? Is something gonna happen? What's gonna happen?
Oh God.
Is
okay,
something
wait.
gonna happen?
We have to end this episode.
What's gonna happen?
We have to end this episode because
Is
there's
something gonna happen?
There's a part 2. Where we're okay, so in the part 2 we're gonna take audience suggestions and questions, just thoughts.
Yes.
And think about and get into what is it, why? Like what is it about them? Like why?
Yeah, okay. Because I want to say, for those of you who are still here and listening, I think it's clear that a lot of the way that me and many others who can relate to this story fell into something. I just want to say, for me and a lot of those who relate to what I was kind of saying and if that's like how they kind of slipped into anything else ever, because I know that there are some who can relate to that. It's clearly something else. Like it's something else that's like happening, and how we as people, as kids, are growing up and how we like attach to things. And I think that that's something that's just like fandom is always for everyone. It's something that, you know, you relate to, and some really relate to things intensely and like maybe just kind of lean into it so much because it's a sure thing. Because it's comfort. It's a sense of comfort. Like a stuffed animal.
It's honestly literally special
it's
interests.
Like a stuffed animal.
Special interests are like actually healing and like up
outlets.
The mental health of like
and it looks and
neurodivergent
and
people.
the difference is something happened in a special way around this time where social media like converged with also these boys being so like real and not knowing the price that they were about to pay.
I want to get into this in the next episode.
And it was like a converging of the social media and these boys being so real and like and relatable without realizing the price they have to pay, about people mistaking it for having access that they don't deserve just because they're seen, with all the teenage hormones, with all of the marketing goals being reached. You know, they like what was happening was working for everybody who had the ideas to execute them. And so I think that a combination of like the toxic and the euphoric side of being that intensely obsessed with anything ever is, you know, it's just a real thing for some people. It's something, you know, a lot of people are kind of embarrassed to talk about. I know it's like unhinged, and that's why I continuously make the disclaimer that I am fine. And like I would never disrespect anybody's personal space or information ever. Moving forward.
Of course.
Thank you.
Okay, we're gonna wrap this up.
We'll wrap it up. That's me. That's my story. A lot of you can relate. This is the story of how I became that obsessed with One Direction. If you want to see the story of us trying to meet One Direction via update accounts, which was a huge thing of the 2010s, with musicians and otherwise. You can go on YouTube and you can see it at is it on?
It's on
Fangirl Central.
No, it's
on
just
Amanda's
search
YouTube.
the day
Yeah,
I didn't meet One Direction. It's also on our link tree and all of our socials, and it's called The Day I Didn't Meet One Direction. Also, depending on when this comes out, we might be in a documentary about boy bands.
Hint,
So-
hint. No. Depending on when this comes out, we might have announced some big news. Say that.
No, it's gonna be released in June
But we
or July.
can't say.
This is gonna be released in July. It might be out already.
But in case it's not, we shouldn't say the project.
We should do 2 different versions.
That's what I just did.
That's what I'm saying. In case this is
Okay.
out, and then you cut me off.
Okay.
In
So-
case this is out, we are in a boy band documentary currently right now that you can watch on Paramount Plus about boy bands. I don't know the name of it, but it's about boy bands. Just search it on Paramount Plus.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay,
So-
just follow us on Fangirl Central at fangirl.central everywhere, Instagram, YouTube. We also have a Patreon where there's some like extra vlogs and an Avatar rewatch podcast, Doctor Who vlogs, Spider-Man vlogs, all of that stuff. So you can follow us I already said that. You can follow
That's Amanda.
me at Amanda Lane, Layne Miller, everywhere.
And I'm Amber, and you can follow me at I really don't know my handle.
Amber L. Miller.
Amber L. Miller, and as always,
keep it
chaotic. I feel ridiculous.
Spoons.